Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings be upon you all. My name is Narid Sulthan Maulana from the Economic Faculty of Sheikh Kuala University. This video was intentionally made for completing my disaster management assignment. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the topic, shall we? Today I want to be talking a bit about earthquake and how do we get prepared for it. How do we deal with it, right? But before that, you might be asking, what is an earthquake? You ever just sit down in your living room, watching TV, watching Netflix, watching news, whatever it is, and suddenly the ground starts shaking? Crazy.
Seems to me that the worst is over.
So according to Wikipedia, an earthquake is the shaking of the surface of the earth, resulting from a sudden release of energy in the Earth's lithosphere that creates seismic waves. Surely is a nightmare, isn't it? But when it happens, don't panic, don't be confused, stay calm, and remember the things, the tips, the recipes that you learned from this video. Tip number 1. If you're indoors and suddenly the ground starts shaking really bad, don't panic and relax. That's key number 1. It's not the end of your life, inshallah. Find some cover, get under a desk, table, or bed, and hang on there for a couple of minutes. This will reduce your chance of getting hit by anything that falls down, like the ceiling, for example, right?
Hold mommy's head, step up!
Tip number 2. After the earthquake, if you're in a damaged building, just immediately go outside to the open and just stay away from damaged buildings. And what I meant by staying away is literally staying away. Don't get closer or even getting into it. Never enter a damaged building after an earthquake, people. But what if you're trapped in a damaged building? Like you ain't got no other choice. Protect your eyes, protect your mouth, and protect your nose from, dust. Send a text, bang on a wall or pipe. Use whistle instead of shouting to help rescuers locate your position. I can't do it. Tip number 3. Usually after a disaster happens, you will immediately get a text message from BMKG about the information of the disaster that just happened. Later on, if you found out that the earthquake has a tsunami potential, head to a safer place. That's why from now on, you better check out your surroundings. Like, where should I go if suddenly something really bad happened? Where should I run away to? Emergency situations can happen in any moment. And since we're in the novel coronavirus pandemic, try as best as you can to find a higher place, a safer place that is not pretty crowded. Me personally, I will go to the hills near my house. It's a big, wide, open space, and there's literally almost nobody there, so yeah, it's pretty safe. Tip number 4. Expect aftershocks to follow the main shock of an earthquake. Sultan, but what is an aftershock, right? According to Wikipedia, aftershocks are basically smaller earthquakes that follows a larger earthquake in the same area. It could be smaller or big though. Tip number 5. Pack some of your important files and stuffs into a bag before the earthquake happens. And not just an earthquake, people, like any kind of disaster, you need to be prepared for it. So if a disaster happens and you're required to go to a safer place, you won't really spend and waste a lot of time packing up your stuffs while you're panicking and your heart is beating faster than before. And remember, we're in a novel coronavirus pandemic, so make sure you bring your hand sanitizer, your mask, and also some medication as well. Tip number 6. This one tip is actually pretty simple, but one small tip could be a huge step for mankind.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You better not call people in an emergency situation. Messages are better and more reliable than phone calls. Not everyone is in the best state to pick up that phone and talk to you.
The guy's an actor, he's reading a script. When they tell you not to panic, that's when you run!
Instead of doing that, send a text message or probably a voice note. I mean, it's much simpler to send messages these days, right? Tap the button and say, "Bro, I'm stuck inside and I can't go out. Please send some help immediately." Yo, bro, I'm stuck inside and I can't go out. Please send me some help immediately, bro. And tell my mama I love her. You know Danny also borrowed like $10, so please make sure he gives them back. Tip number 7. Create a family emergency communication plan. Plan where to meet once you guys get separated. You never know what'll happen when a disaster occurs, so, let's start planning, people. An earthquake truly is dangerous, but we can reduce the impacts, especially the negative impacts of it, if we do prepare ourselves from now on. And since we're also now having a novel coronavirus pandemic, which is basically another disaster, whatever happened, remember to stay calm, stay clean, and keep a distance from other people. So yeah, I guess that's all from me today. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening and watching this video. I really hope you benefit from this. Last but not least, peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.